check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need, get over the fear, and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello everybody, Michael Quarles with the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Welcome to Monday. It is going to be an outstanding week. I was thinking about this last night. I mean, every Sunday we get to have another resolution for the week. I mean, you know how everybody waits until, December to plan their January 1st? Well, every Sunday we can plan our Monday. That's friggin' awesome to me if you really think about it. So everything you didn't start last week, all those little things, life got in the way so you couldn't contribute the time or the energy or the money or whatever it was to doing what you wanted to do last week. Just think about it. Today is a new beginning, and today and tomorrow and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you can actually accomplish those things you've set out to accomplish. I think it's pretty cool. Now, we have kind of made it easier for you to remind yourself. All you have to do is go to your cell phone, text the number 313131, and send that number the word wealth. So send wealth to the number 313131. It's going to automatically send you for 10 days a little reminder to fill out a form and what you want to do today, what you did yesterday, what do you need to do tomorrow, those kinds of things. And I'm finding that some folks are really liking it. Some people don't like it. They opt out of it, which is fine for me. When people opt out of it, it just costs me less money because I'm spending my own money to send to you folks reminders of things you wanted to be reminded of. So it's kind of a cool thing. Here we are. We have a scenario question this morning, and I am going to try my best to answer it. And remember, if you have a scenario question, send it to support@michaelquarles.com. Here it is. I have been investing and renovating homes for many years. Flip a minimum of 3 per year, and now I'm looking for ways to increase my volume through different marketing campaigns. I'm looking for automated ways to drive traffic to websites and or call centers that can sift and sort and allow me to follow up on those that float to the top to see if they meet my buy criteria and overcome objections. I was thinking on focusing on the following types of leads and would be interested in your advice as to which to focus on. These are the lead types: landlords, inherited homes, probate, vacant properties, free and clear properties, health code violations. I'm hopeful that you can steer me into companies that provide these lists and types of mail services. Well, gosh, and guys and gals, this was not a setup question. I have no clue who asked this, and I know no one that I get to work with on a daily basis would actually send me this question, so I'm going to assume it's from an investor who may or may not realize that I own yellowletters.com, who can fulfill all of your marketing needs. But let's talk for a second about at the core of your question, and that is, who should you market to? And you indicated that you were questioning landlords, inherited property, probate, vacant properties, free and clear properties, health code violation properties. And you could add more to that, by the way. You could add divorce properties. You could add short sale properties. You could have pre-foreclosure properties. You could have trustee sale properties, those kinds of things. You can have all kinds of different property types, meaning like what category does the owner of the property fit within? The reality, though, is you really only have a single type that all of the types must fit within. So you can have landlords, you can have probate, you can have inherited, you can have code violations, you could have unlawful detainers, you can have divorcees, you can have short sales, you can have all kinds of different things. At the end of the day, they all have to have a common ground, and that is an equity position. And I'm a firm believer that if we're marketing to our equity position sellers, then in fact, we're marketing to the landlords and the owner-occupieds and the inheriteds and the probates and the code violation. Because if if they all have to have the equity, and that's our master list, and they are a code violation, then they're going to be on my list if, in fact, I can market to them and buy from them. So here's the key component. We have to make sure that our sellers can sell their property to us. We're not trying to exchange, stress and take someone's frustration without being paid for it. So, if someone has a property that is 90% loan to value and they're a code violation, and they're desperate to sell because they're a code violation, well, they only have 10% equity. I can't do anything with 10% equity. I need at least, at the very, very, very minimum, 30%. So just because they're a code violation doesn't do any good. I have to make sure they have an equity position. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to ListSource, and under the geographical area tab, put your zip codes or your city in, however you want to define it. Then I want you to go to the property tab, and under the property tab, it's going to have an area for equity percentage. Click on that thing, and I want you to add 30% to 100% and do a calculation. Then I want you to put under the property tab, I want you to put $30,000 as a minimum equity dollar. And then hit that, how many properties there are at that. And then I want you to go to property type. For me anyway, this is what I would do. I would go to property type under single family residence. It's SFR for single family residence. Add that, get your count. If you want to do duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, you can do those, but I just do single families. It's easier. Then I want you to go, now this is where you may get gray and you make, Mike, I don't want to do it this way. And that's fine. You don't have to do it this way. That's why I say it's starting to get in the gray area. Go up to bedrooms, and under bedrooms, go 2 to 3, not 3 to 4, not 3 only, not 1 to 2, not 2 to 17, 2 to 3. Add that. If your count dramatically decreases, remove the bedroom filter completely. Just take those numbers away, recalculate it to get it back to your normal number. Now, ready? Are you ready? I do not want you to do length of ownership yet, not at this moment, okay? So I want you to go and you're going to write down that number. How many are there? Single families, $30,000 equity, 30% equity or greater in your geographical area. How many are there? How many? So how many are there? Okay? Now write that number down. Now I want you to go to, under last sale date, I want you to go from the January 1st, 1900 to today. So I want you to search all of the properties within ListSource from January 1st, 1900 to today that were bought. Length of ownership, all that period of time. And I want you to see that number there. Now, so for the first number, we didn't have when they bought it. Okay? Mike, I think you're crazy. I understand. People are thinking I'm crazy right now. Just follow along. I am crazy a little bit, but on this one, I'm not so crazy. Follow along. You have your original number. When you put a time period in it, that number is going to reduce. Guess what? Can I share a secret with you? A really big secret? No one's marketing that difference. So that those folks, you might have originally you had 10,000 people, and you put that sell date thing in there, and that 10,000 went to 8,300. Those 1,700 people, very few people are marketing to them.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Prime list. You want a prime list? Prime list. 1,700 people are typically not marketed to because we all use last sale date. We want to go back 4 years. Yeah, but Mike, how do I know that they weren't sold in the last 4 years and they're just brand new people and I don't want to buy brand new houses? Well, you don't. I do know they're not going to be marketed to as heavily as the other people are. And sometimes they've been there for a long time. See, it's all about data that comes from the assessors and the recorder's office. If it doesn't have a timestamp, it's not going to be on the timestamp filter. So because it's not on the timestamp filter, people aren't pulling it when they pull their list using a timestamp. So how do you get the list? Great question. So I'm going to share with you how to get that list. We're going to pull the list at least 3 different ways, okay? 3 different ways that we're going to do it. At least 3 different ways, possibly 5, okay? But we're going to do it three ways now. So the first way I want you to pull your list is you got the criteria for $30,000 in a minimum equity, 30% equity to 100% equity, single families, may or may not have bedroom count in there of 2 to 3, okay? Now, go to the last sale date. Go January 1st, 1900 to 4 years ago. Just humor me. Just do that. Pull that list. And it's going to be huge. It's going to be whatever it is. It's 7,233, whatever it is. Just pull that one. Okay? Just pull that one. Please. Now, after you get that one pulled, move the filter from the last 4 years to today. So it's going to be January 1st, 1900 to today. The list is going to get bigger. I want you to pull that list, but before you buy it, suppress it against the first list. So you're going to remove all of the people on the first list from the second list. Do not dedupe your lists, okay? So don't try to dedupe. I only want to, if they own 2 properties, I only want to know about them one time. No, not in this case. You want to know about them multiple times. So don't dedupe the list. So first list, 1900, January 1st, 4 years ago. Second list, 1900, January 1st to today. Okay? Right? Got it? Pull that list, suppress it against the first list. Third list, no date filter. Bigger list. Pull that list, buy that list, suppress it against the 2 other lists. So your first list and your second list. And that's going to give you your raw count. Okay? I want you to do that. That's what you want to do. So why are we doing it this way? So we can find the folks that aren't being marketed to, that have an equity base. Now, the other 2 lists, the other 2 ways that you could have done it, which I think is pretty cool. I'm getting excited here for you guys because I get excited when I think about lists and making money. Think about this. I want you to think about this one for a second. Before you pull all your lists, you can do that several different ways, but think about this one. Inside a list source, they allow us to pull a list based upon absentee owners out of state or absentee owners in state. Man, I get excited when I think about this because I know the further away from the property someone is, the better it is for me. Better it is for them because they're going to sell their house. But I only get 2 choices. Sucks. Really sucks. If you think about it, they give me 2 choices. I want 3, but they don't give me 3. I want 3. And I know they know how to program it. They just don't want me to have the 3rd choice. So I know how to get the 3rd choice. Hey, what the heck? Pull your list for out-of-state people. Pull your list for in-state people. Suppress them against each other. And then you're going to do a data search for all of your Excel's pretty cool. Your columns. So you got this big old data feed coming back from ListSource, and it's going to say property address, property city, and then it's going to say mailing address, mailing city. You can run a logic on your Excel to tell you the people who don't live in the same city as the property. They give you a false or a true. Then you data sort with your true or your false. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. And now you have your third list, which is primo. Not as good as that other one where you're going to have those people that were never marketed to by anybody because no one ever leaves off the cell filter, the date filter. But man, there's so many great ways of building your list without all this. Should I market to landlords, inherited property, probates, vacant property, free and clear, health code violations? Yeah, they're all great. They're all good. But you got to have your primary list. Focus on your primary list. And all these other folks will be within it. Now, here's a question. A lot of people ask me, Mike, but don't you tell the landlord something different than you tell the probate person? No. You want to piss someone off? You tell them you know what condition they're in. You just send someone in foreclosure, a foreclosure letter, and see how far that gets you. You send someone divorcing a divorcee letter and see how far that gets you. No, we send them the same message. I want to buy a house. If someone wants to sell their house, who's a divorcee or someone who wants to sell their house who's a code violation, they just want to sell a house. You don't have to talk code violation language to them or divorce language to them or any other language to them. You just say the language. I want to buy your house for cash. All right? You don't have to pick them apart and define them and categorize them. And man, you talk about a lot of work. Just send them the same old 6 pieces. You send them small postcard, yellow letter, large postcard, professional letter, greeting card, zip contract. Over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? That's all you're going to do. At some list sizes, you're going to do it something different. Instead of doing it with postcard and yellow letter and postcard and professional letter and greeting card and zip contract, you're going to do various postcards. And there's a reason for it, okay? It's a different conversation. I don't want everybody to go crazy on me now, but Mike, you've been preaching all this time cluster marketing. Yes, and still use cluster marketing, but we can use cluster marketing a different way. All right? And I'm not crazy. I know when you hit over 10,000 pieces or 10,000 prospects, we need to look at options because we do not want 10,000 prospects calling us from a yellow letter because I know at the end of the day, that's not going to be service the best. So what do we do? How do we manage this stuff? Well, that's what we're here for. I hope this makes sense because I think it's an important podcast. I know it's only been 18, 19 minutes now, but I think it's really important not to get caught up on all these little subgroups. Certainly, if you have an expired listing, if you have access to the multiple listing service where realtors list property for sale, and you can get that daily list, and there's an expired listing, and you can cross-check its address against your master list of equity-owned properties, and it's there, well, by all means, drive over to that house, knock on the door, and try to buy a piece of property. But short of something like that, I wouldn't do anything. I'm not going to be chasing deals. The exception of that expired because I know they need to sell their house. And they want to sell their house. They've been trying to sell their house. And in fact, they can sell their house because they have an equity base that causes them to be able to sell it to me. And a realtor didn't work. You know, realtors are great people. Man, I hope I never sound like I'm beating a realtor up because for the most part, realtors are really competent. Now, we all know there's some people that aren't competent. We all know that some investors aren't competent. But man, the realtors are great. They just, they're not magical though. I mean, they can't sell a property no one else wants at the value that it's listed at. And sometimes it's hard for a realtor to explain that to a seller where it's easier for us because we're going at it at a net dollar and we can start justifying our net dollar where a realtor has to start justifying all the commission dollars. So it's a little bit different of a conversation. So sometimes it's easier for us to buy that expired, but only go after those expireds that are on your master list. And yes, I understand that getting the master list for your area is expensive. I get it. I get it. I understand. It's also so valuable. It's the most valuable list that you'll have. Even if you can't market to it all at the same time, it's still the most valuable thing you have, because if someone says they want to sell their house and they're not on your master list, don't talk to them. Don't spend your time getting excited chasing a phantom deal. It's not real. But if you get that master list, now you know. Okay? That's all you got to do. Man, it's been, this one, I hope you guys listen to it again and again and again, because I think it's a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.